Vikas Gupta came to the United States when he was in his 20s. After a few years of living here, he developed hypothyroidism or an underactive thyroid. So he was told by his doctor that he will have to take medicines for the rest of his life. And he didn't know any better and trusted what he was told. His dose kept increasing for the next 25 years until he met Dr. Khader Wali in 2019. This is where he learned that if he wanted, he could cure his condition. And hear this, he could get rid of his medicines. I don't know what you would choose, but that's exactly what he resolved to do, to get rid of his medicines. He shared his story already in a video that we have posted in two parts. The first is his journey, which he recounts, and the second is a Q&A where we ask him questions. Both are very insightful, and if you haven't heard it, I would strongly recommend that you do take a listen. In this video, he recaps his journey because there was a part that was left still incomplete. And we go back to him and follow up with that part that was still left. Let's find out if he finally reached normalization of thyroid function and is really 100% medicine free.
Namaste, my name is Vikas Gupta, and I'm here to share my story about how I went thyroid free and stopped taking the medication. Well, this is the topics that I would like to cover today. First, let's start with the thyroid journey that started in about 25 years back when I was detected with an underactive thyroid. And since then, for 23 years, every day I was taking a medication. The only thing that changed was the dosage, which increased over time. Until about July of 2019, when I was inspired by Dr. Khader Wali, and I decided to embark on a journey to become medicine-free. I started taking the millet diet and started reducing the dosage of my thyroid medication. I really cut it into half. And after every 6 months, about 4 to 6 months, I would cut it into half, further half, which means I went from half to 1/4. And after about a year, in September of 2020, when I realized that my TSH was still maintaining within the range, I decided to go without any medicine. And my test that I did after that actually was encouraging because even though I was slightly outside the range, I was still right around the range. And the latest test that was done last month was the most encouraging because it has really put me back to be within the range.
Dr. Khader says that every cell in our body renews itself, with each taking different duration of time depending upon where it is present in our body. Once the renewed cell is free of toxicity, it functions as it is meant to normally. So the trick is to clean out the body and stop any further toxicity from occurring. Let's see how Vikas achieved this.
What were the different steps that I took? The most important of all was following Dr. Khader's protocol, which is having the little millet 3 times a week or 3 days a week, and then followed by barnyard, foxtail, cody, round top, 1 day each. And this is the cycle I've been following for religiously for almost last 2 years. In addition, I stopped the consumption of wheat, rice, sugar, and milk. As per Dr. Khader recommendation, also started consuming the oil, about 2 to 3 spoons. And it was the bull-driven oil, either the coconut, peanut, or the sesame oil. And I would change that oil type every week.
Dr. Khader is an independent scientist with over 30 years of research behind him. He follows and promotes the health, science, and art that is over 3,000 years old and sees the human body as part of its environment. In this science, oils play an important part in cleaning our glands. And not just any oils. Oils that are chemically extracted actually do more harm than good. The oils that we need to take are cold pressed or even better, manually extracted. as they were traditionally done using bulls. These were called bull driven or ghani oils.
The other thing that I did was, while eating, there would be no electronics around me. I would always focus and eat. And in my opinion, eating peacefully helps you absorb the food a lot better.
Our relation to food, what we call food, whether it is lab made, packaged, and laden with chemicals, or if we grow, how we grow it, how and when we eat, all of this is part of the health science that seeks to get rid of disease from its roots and gives us freedom from medicine. The recent Nobel Prize for Medicine, given for discovery of the pathways of heat and cold, explained the process of transmission of these sensations. It is awesome and wonderful that we now know the enzymes and the proteins that are activated when we feel different temperatures, smell different smells. However, it is for us to decide if we want to apply this understanding to control or disrupt these pathways using synthetic drugs and continue managing disease with lifelong medicine, or if we want to enrich and support a science that is fully developed to cure, treat, and reverse disease, like Vikas did. This science has known for 3000 plus years the effects of using our senses correctly on our health. And it's just a small part of its vast knowledge. After all, what is better than getting rid of disease and lifelong medicine? That's the goal Vikas set for himself. Let's go back and see what else he did to achieve this goal.
At the same time, when I started this, I started following the intermittent fasting, which is I would fast once every week, 1 day every week. And also, the gap between my dinner and the next morning's breakfast would be 14 to 16 hours. Also, I mean, you can see that I would also finish my dinner no later than 7 p.m. The yoga and pranayam also were part of my schedule, specifically the ones that are targeted towards the thyroid, which is the Sarvangasana, the Halasana, the Setubandhasana, and the Matsyasana. I'll do that at least 5 times a week. And the pranayam that is recommended for thyroid is the Ujjayi pranayam. Here's my daily meal schedule. And the morning starts, it's the most important time because you are on an empty stomach. Always start with drinking water and cleansing your stomach, and followed by oil pulling, which is if you want to take care of your teeth. But most importantly, the oil, the kashayam, and the powder that I have, which is made of turmeric, black pepper, dry ginger. And I take a little bit of neem along with it every morning. So these things have to be done 30 minutes gap each. And in the morning, if you have a chance, please expose yourself to the sunlight. By the time I'm done with all this, it's time for the breakfast. And that breakfast is typically consisting of a set of fruits. And the lunch and the dinner are mostly the ambali, which is fermented, which has been soaked. And there's a different lentil every day, different veggie every day. And during the lunch, I also add yogurt, sesame seed, and flaxseed to the ambali. So that's all I have been doing. Of course, it all starts with a belief. And if you follow it religiously with the discipline, there is no reason why that food cannot cure you. Not just your thyroid, but it will also cure any other ailments that you may possibly have. In my case, I had been suffering from the seasonal allergies, which is gone now. Thank you for letting me share Namaste.
We see a wonder unfold before our eyes when we embrace a science that shows us our connection to our environment and cures us of every disorder. Our connection to our environment doesn't mean we go back to live in the forest, but we live in ways that respects the forests, let them thrive so we can grow food the right way, live according to the laws of nature, the night and day sleep awake cycles, give place to other life forms, connect with other fellow beings. There is knowledge to grow enough food for everyone on the planet the right way, the way that keeps us healthy. Let's seek that knowledge and follow the direction it points us to. Before I go, I'd like to point to that one thing that got Vikas started on this journey and was instrumental in reversing his disease. I hope you remember that. It's small millets, an ancient grain that is now just fed to the birds in the United States. While cultures all around the world, the Koreans, the Japanese, the Italian, the Indians, eat them. We in America need to eat them too. Ask for brown top millet, for foxtail millet, for barnyard, for kodo, for little millet. Ask your grocer for it. Better still, call the grain farmers and let them know that you want them. We'll all end up as happy as Vikas.